Okay, so this is just a quick video just explaining to you how you're supposed to go about filling in the details for this Excel sheet that we asked everybody to provide details to us in, so that we can, in turn feed those details into our database that we're going to be migrating to. So one thing which I should probably mention from the start is that the Excel sheet that you are using is probably going to look a bit different from this one that you're looking at in this video, but that's fine. Don't be too worried. You just notice that this column here, which says sectors in your Excel sheet, it's blacked out. And the same applies for this column here, which in this example is showing radiation passbook number. For you as well, that option is blacked out. And the reason why that is just because we won't be using that information. At least for now, we don't need it. And another way maybe you can tell which information we need precisely is if we look at the different columns here. They're written, the headings are written in different color text. So there's the headings that are in red and the headings that are in black. So the ones in red are the ones that we need to be filled in, because this is the information that if we're not provided with this, then we can't input the information for your workers into the database. So you should make sure that these columns in the red, they're all filled in, whereas the ones in the black, things like the middle name and so on and so forth, those are not too important. So in this case, if I were you, I would, like I've opened Excel sheet, and then go here where it says employer, and we'll put in the name of the company. So, St. Lucifer's Hospital. Don't bother too much about the names. Then we'll put in the address there. So, in this case, you put in whatever the address is, the physical address for your location. So plot number 7, Heaven Street. And then for the postal codes, I don't really know the postal codes for other provinces or other districts, but for Lusaka anyway, here I know that it's 1010-1. So in this case, that's what we put in there. So you put in the postal code that's appropriate for your location as well. And then the contact person here, this is where you're going to indicate the name of your RPO. So whatever the name of your RPO is, you're going to put it in there. You don't have to put in details, the title, like I had put in here. We just call this RPO Mr. Reliable. Then from there, we'll move to the monitoring type. So here, for all of you, I expect you to select, or you should select external exposure, because we're not doing any internal exposure monitoring at this point in time. Then the next column here for the telephone number, you can put in the landline for your facility, whatever that might be. And then under mobile phone number here, I would prefer if you can put in the mobile number for the RPO. So you will expect this is being filled by the RPOs anyway. So you as the RPO, you provide us there with your mobile line. And then this part, like I had said, we've blacked this one out. You don't need to fill that in. So you just move to the next, which says organization code. And for you, in this column, it should say to be filled in by RPA. So this is just the code that we use to identify each of you, the licensees. So like every facility has its own code, which, it appears on the license and all of that. So this part, you don't have to worry about. We'll fill that in. Then here is where now you have to start inputting the details of the worker. So you're going to put in the first name there. Then if they have a middle name, you can go ahead and put it in there, and their surname as well. So then for the gender, this has a drop down menu which you just hit on this arrow, and then you pick we expect probably you choose between male and female, but there's that option there as well in case, I don't know. But yeah, it's there for that's what was put into the code. So we just work with that. Then we'll move on to occupation category. So here, as the RPOs, I expect that all of you are aware, first of all, which category your use of radiation falls under. Okay, so you can see the options which are there: nuclear fuel cycle, medical uses, industrial uses, natural resources, defense activities, miscellaneous. So I don't expect anyone to be really putting in nuclear fuel cycle or defense activities here, because I don't think that there are any right now who really qualify for this. But then you can select medical or industrial uses. So in this case, this was selected the name of a hospital. I'll select medical uses there. Then when I go under here in the sub-occupation category, you can see that there are further options to choose from. So in this case, if it's a hospital with an X-ray machine, you put diagnostic radiology. If it's a hospital, like I realize that some of you who have the X-ray machine, you have the dental radiology, and you have maybe, anyway, let's say you have nuclear medicine as well. If you have more than one category, it's completely fine. It's just that every time you're choosing you choose a different subcategory which applies to where the worker is usually found. So if that person works from the radiotherapy area, you're going to select radiotherapy. If they work from the nuclear medicine area, you're going to say nuclear medicine. If they work from the X-ray department, you select which one, whether it's a dental X-ray or it's a normal diagnostic X-ray. So you select those ones according to where the people are doing the work. Then the next column is for the ID number. So here under ID number, for Zambians, we want you to put in the NRC. So you enter that there. And then for non-Zambians, you can go ahead and put in the passport, and realize that there are some Zambians who have a passport. That's nice. But we don't want your passport number. We want your NRC number, because as you are aware, passport expires, you have to change that. So the NRC, that number is permanently with you. So we'd prefer you put in in fact, not prefer, we instruct that you put in the NRC number for the Zambians. And if they're non-Zambians, you can put in their passport number. So this column again for you is going to be blacked out. So move to the next one, which is date of birth, which is the last mandatory field for you to fill in. And it gives the format down here. You start with a year, you put in the month and the actual day. So you can say that May 23rd. So put in that information. So in as far as the mandatory information, once again, that's basically that. You can click save. If you filled in like this, you can send this to us. But remember also, if you've got 10, 20 workers, we expect you to put in all of that information for all those workers. But just to explain these other two columns, we have the date of start radiation. Basically, this is when they started working around the radiation source. So not necessarily when they started working with the institution, but when their exposure started. So that's the information you're going to put in again. You use that format, the year, the month, and the day. Then the employment relation. This is just maybe for our own statistical purposes. We just want to know what kind of employment situation that this person is in, whether it's temporary, whether it's student, whether it's one where they're doing their education and they came back, which would be like this rehire after retire. That's what you would probably select there. Again, there's a bit of like some of these titles might not make too much sense because it was just like directly translated from foreign language into English. But don't bother too much about that. Anyhow, for these, if you have more workers, of course, you can just easily autofill the rest of these columns by clicking there and dragging. So you do the same there. If you've got maybe 10 or 20 workers, you click and you drag all the way up to, however many workers you have. And that way, all this information is sorted out. You don't have to worry too much about it. And then you just focus on these columns here where you have to put in their names, their details. Otherwise, for these columns here with the blue background, which are indicating the details of your facility, you can just click and drag most, if not all, of these columns, except maybe the postal code, because I've seen it's going to do something messed up. You can just, in this case, copy from there, Control C, then you highlight however many cells you have, then you just do Control V. So that's basically the gist of how to populate this Excel sheet. So again, like I said, depending on the number of workers you have to provide those details over on that side. Then when you're done, you just hit save, and then you will send this to the email that was provided. I believe it's technicalservices@rpa.gov.zm or something like that. So yeah, aside from that, that's basically that, and hopefully this is going to be able to help people overcome the struggles which they have been experiencing. And just also to add, the version which some of you might have for the Excel might not have these tabs down here for the different worksheets. Initially, we had added these in there to, I apologize for the noise in the background, we had added these in there to kind of give guidance for people on how to populate this sheet, but I think there was some miscommunication and these got deleted. But otherwise, even without those there, you can still follow the instructions as I've given them to you, and you'll be able to fill in the information as you should. Okay, so thank you and have a good day.